With the addition of several new and advanced resources to our production chains in the last episode alone, automated interplanetary transport is edging ever closer. Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. So, we are getting, as I said, very close not only to interplanetary transport. We have planetary logistics unlocked already. We haven't built any of those stations yet. But as I mentioned toward the end of the last episode, we're also at a point where we need to rethink maybe how we've got our oil refinery business set up. So what I'm going to do, rather than stopping these from building, I'm going to build another 4 refineries, and I'm going to need to grab some prisms to do this. So let's fly this direction. Everything is looking quite nice over here. We have prisms being produced right here. I could, of course, set up some storage for the prisms so that there's more of them on hand, and I think I will go ahead and do that while I'm staring at the problem. Looks like I need some gears. That is not an issue. Let's grab some iron ingots. And what we will do with those is make a splitter. I already have some storage to use, so oh, wait. For whatever reason that... Oh! I tried to build the level 3 belts. Don't have those yet. At least I think that's what I did. Alright, so there's that. And now we just need to let that build up. Perfect. So let's grab those. So if I make... Good, that's 4 refiners right there. Now I need more than that. So let's see how many it'll let me get away with making. Wait, am I building extractors, not refiners? Yes, I am. Hang on. I need refiners. I knew that seemed a little bit odd. Need to build the refiners, not extractors. I was sitting here thinking, wow, it's really letting me build a lot of those. I don't have a lot of prisms. That's so strange. That would be why. I've already built 2 additional oil extractors. Unfortunately. Alright. Distribution range level 1 has been researched. Let's go ahead and take a look while we wait for those prisms to build up, because we need them to anyway. Let's take a look at some of the other technologies we can unlock. So, polymer chemical engineering gives us the ability to make organic crystal, which we will need to make quite soon. It's going to take a minute for those to be made, because they require, when you're getting organic crystal, notice these ingredients. We haven't started making plastic yet. That's plastic there first on the list, and then you have organic, or you have refined petroleum, refined oil, and you have water. You can also make it using natural resources that you pile into a sorter. There's no way to harvest wood and plants naturally. You have to find them yourself and then put them in storage and then let the production apparatus of your planet kind of take them. That might eventually change, because this game is all about finding additional ways to automate things. That's one of the things that you can't automate too much. But there is a way to find this particular crystal, this organic crystal, on other planets. We just don't have any of those planets in our current system. So we will not only need to leave our planet, we will need to leave this star in order to find it. So I think after that, I'm going to go ahead and queue up the high strength crystal, and then queue up the structure matrices. Because in order to get to the next tier of technologies that are kind of waiting to be unlocked now, we need the ability to build the yellow matrices, and those will require some of the resources that you're looking at here. So we should now have, oh yes, there we go, plenty more. Let's build, looks like 3 more refineries, and then I need some more stone bricks. If only I had a massive stack of stone bricks somewhere. Oh wait, there we go. Not a problem at all. And then do I need anything else on top of those? Probably not, to tell you the truth. So I will stick with what I've got here. And now let's work on expanding this situation over here. So as I mentioned, getting 2-stage refining set up, I mentioned this several episodes back now, towards the beginning of the series, frankly. But this is something that is quite complicated when you do it the first time, and can really be intimidating to new players until you kind of see how it can fit together quite efficiently. So I'm actually going to... Well, no, I'm not going to copy those because these... I could copy them and place them in a different direction, but I will just do 4 fresh refiners built like so. There's that. Now we have plasma refining as our first stage. So we're going to copy this recipe and have all 4 of those refineries working. Now, what I'm going to do here is exactly what I did before. Let's see where I built those lines. Yeah, we had the hydrogen line first. So I'll just mimic that precisely. And we'll have all of our hydrogen going there. There's an argument to be made for maybe I don't even have to delete those 4. I can just leave them there and have just this line dedicated to first stage refinery or first stage refining in order to bring in hydrogen. But at the same time, the second stage of refining, look what happens. So this is our first refinery stage. 2 oil becomes 2 refined oil and 1 hydrogen. But then X-ray cracking, which is 2-stage refining, takes the refined oil, but only 1 of them. Okay, so note, this produces 2, this takes 1 of them, and it takes 2 of the hydrogen. So it takes more hydrogen than is produced. And it produces more hydrogen and additional energetic graphite. I know, mind-blowing, right? So this is a way to actually increase the hydrogen production that you have while also producing additional energetic graphite. Both of which are resources that you can kind of get bottlenecked on pretty soon in the game that we are currently playing. So, hasn't happened yet, but it likely will. Alright, so I'm going to build these Tesla towers in the exact same spots that the other ones are built. And then we will go ahead and place the... I think what I'll need to do here is elevate this line. Yep. You know what? Let's take it back 1. So those refineries that I just built are getting backed up at the moment. The reason being... The reason that they're getting backed up is only 1 of the resources they're outputting is actually leaving the refineries. That's a little bit messy, what I just did, but we will just live with it. We're not going to have to look at it too much. So now notice they're no longer backed up because they're able to output both of their resources. The way that I'm doing that, by the way, if you look at the tooltip for any of the sorters before you place them, notice that you have the ability to tab between the outputs when you have a facility that is outputting multiple resources. That's one thing that if you figure it out sooner than later, you can save yourself a lot of headaches, because otherwise what you're trying to do is like build the sorter, make sure no resources of the wrong type travel down the line, select the sorter, set the filter. It involves a lot more anxiety than is actually necessary. Okay, so with that being done, I'm actually already realizing there's a change I need to make if I'm going to do this very efficiently. Or maybe I can just place them in... Yeah, I'll just stagger them like so. So here's what we'll do. We're going to stagger some refineries. And what these refineries will do... Hang on, let's go ahead and get some of these in place. What they will do is X-ray crack. This is the second stage of oil refining. So, they require resources from both of these lines. So I'm just going to have them pull from both lines. I don't have to do anything filter-wise because there's only 1 resource type on each line. So they will deal with the problem themselves. And the reason, by the way, you might be thinking, well, since they're taking the same 2 resources, why don't you just have them... Hadrian, why don't you just have all of the outputs of the first stage be on 1 line? Well, the answer to that is sometimes if the math doesn't add up right, and this... Let's say this is the last refiner in your line, which it is here. And let's say you had all of them in 1 line. unless the line kept going to the storages the way mine are here, let's say that you didn't have it, continue moving on, what would happen is the line would stop. If the line that was, if the resource that was sitting right there at the end of the line was not the one that this refinery needed, this refinery would stop working. And then the entire line would stop moving and all the refineries stop working. It's better to have the lines continuously moving past the refineries so that if you're in a situation where this two-stage refinery or refinery process kind of this second row of refineries is looking for two different resources, if it can't find one of them, you want to have both of those resources constantly passing by the plants as much as you can. Otherwise, you get a bit of a headache. It becomes problematic. All right, so speaking of things being problematic, something interesting that I can do here that I literally just thought of, hang on, because I have to get two lines set up here. Actually, no, I don't. My bad. Oops, 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 oops. One of the outputs can just go right back onto the existing line. Okay, so this one just needs to output some hydrogen, so it looks like hydrogen line is the outer line. Perfect. And then this line here, very interestingly, this will go to the energetic graphite, which recall that I already have energetic graphite right here. Remember? So I can do something pretty interesting at this particular moment. I can help the process along, the process that I've already created where I'm bringing energetic graphite over here to this side of the base. There's a couple of different ways I could treat this situation. I could just use the energetic graphite produced here in order to fund the production and create, the sulfuric acid back here and the graphene. It's actually the graphene that requires the energetic graphite. So you combine that with the sulfuric acid and you get the graphene. So I could just have these supporting the graphene, or I could combine this chain watch this. I could combine this chain with the chain that I've already built. About right there. Perfect. So we're going to have this resource chain climb up over this coal. Ironically, that's the coal that's going towards the production of some of this graphene. Not this exact graphene. This is coming for the refining process. But now this is going to come over here. And what we can do is, let's bring it to about right here. We're going to need to make a break in this line, just briefly. We're going to need to lay down some space for a sorter. We're going to need to make a sorter, or a splitter. And there is a type of splitter that has 2 inputs on the bottom and 2 inputs on the top. And that's the one we're going to put down. We're just going to have this line go straight through. And this line will feed in at the bottom. So what we've now done is we've slowed down the rate at which the other side of our base needs to send energized graphite over here for the production of sulfuric acid, making that entire process more efficient, which is quite nice. We also have some graphene building up here. Let's see how much we have now. Ooh, over 2,000 graphene already. And it looks like resource-wise, we are in good shape. All of our lines are full. The one I was most worried about was fuel, but so far it's looking really good. So now what we'll need to do is keep a close eye on this situation here. Yeah, this is an unusual setup for me. I don't normally have a situation like this where I've got one set of refineries that's just working on stage 1 refining to produce fuel and oil, or fuel and hydrogen, but it might actually work out. And the reason it might work out is that this fuel is not being consumed by anything other than the other resources that I've set up to directly consume it. So it's not being pulled back into the refining process, because that's the thing about the stage 2 refining. Stage 2 refining doesn't take up all of the refined oil, just half of it. but it does take half of the refined oil. So having some refineries set up, I've never done this before, but having some refineries set up that aren't having that done could actually be quite useful. I normally just build as many refineries as I can so that, and then have them all participating in the two-stage process so that the entire thing is still producing that 50% refined oil amount at an overall like raw total that is sufficient for my base. So all that being done, let's take a look back over here and see how things are going. We do need to take a trip to Alpha Andromedae 4 to upgrade the assemblers there. So let's go ahead and queue up a few assemblers. Notice how slowly these are burning through. It's glorious. You're also going to notice a slight difference in how much, like how maneuverable I am in space now that those are our fuel type. Not necessarily maneuverability, but like how quickly my energy drains. Notice I'm able to speed up a lot more now. All right, where are we going? Is it behind me now? Oh my God, it's behind me now. All right, finally, look at this. We're all on the same side of the system at the same time. So I chose a good time to depart. Look at that recharge rate. Can you tell? This is the benefit of having hydrogen fuel cells instead of the energized graphite that we've been relying on for so long. I think I still have some. Yeah, I still have some in my inventory, but I don't need it anymore. Can I build? Yes, I can. Let's build a few more logistics distributors because I think I needed to put one on top of the titanium and I didn't have the plasma exciters. I was calling those prisms before, but they're plasma exciters. I will say one of the things about, this is my first Dyson Sphere Program series, and I'm enjoying commentating on it and I'm learning. It's a very different type of game from the other games I've played on the channel. It's got some overlap with Stellaris, mainly the science fiction and the amount of complexity to it to a degree, but it's also very different. And one of the things that is distinct about Dyson Sphere Program is it has a ton of very technical names for different components. And obviously I've already memed on myself a little bit because we have the whole processors versus chips and circuit boards dilemma. But really knowing the exact name of all the items, I think is effective in being able to describe what you're doing in a game like this. And it's something I'm going to try to get better at because I would like to be better at it. I've stumbled over the names of things for most episodes for most of this series so far, but it's my very first one. So the more that I do, the easier it will come to me. It's just an interesting aspect, a little bit of meta commentary there, but it's an interesting aspect of playing and commentating on this that I'm enjoying. Notice how much energy I have, by the way, to make my landing. There we go. We re-entered the atmosphere safely. Didn't have to crater that time, so less overshooting in our future, basically. Oh, look at this. The bots are already bringing me what I need, which is fantastic. It looks like I might not even have space for everything they're bringing me, which is hilarious. Okay, so we might be a little bit behind on the production of some of these things. Let's see. Slight efficiency issues. So it looks like we might need to produce more gears. What would be the best way to do this? If we're low on gears, then, well, one of the ways we could do it is by upgrading these things. That's what we're here to do. Now, see, we're actually out of space right now. This is the downside of... I'm just going to drop this on the ground. I don't know why... There we go. This is the downside of the logistics bots. Because what's happened is they're now bringing me more stuff than I know what to do with. So what I'll have to do is... I think I'll just have to build a storage container real quick and offload some of the things I'm carrying so that I can afford to pick some of the stuff up that I'm dropping on the ground. we'll just grab it again before we leave. Okay. So those were the upgraded assemblers, which I can now replace. So this will partially solve the problem. But the thing is, if we upgrade everything, then the upgrade will be standardized across the production chain and the same shortage will still exist. Does that make sense? If I upgraded just the gears and nothing else, then that would help. Sure. But we want everything to be faster. So we'll have to solve the shortage. So we might do a little bit of problem solving at the end of the episode here once we've got these upgraded. Oh, I'm out of graphene. Really? I thought I had a bunch more on me. Damn. All right, well, I won't be able to upgrade all of them, which means we can definitely solve the shortage. But, man, I really thought I brought more with me. I had a big stack, and I think I thought I had it with me, but it was just the stack that I was looking at in my inventory. Or in the base's inventory, in that storage. That's unfortunate. So is that really it? Is that all I can do then? I have a few more in my inventory, so I'll go ahead and get that chain fully completed. Okay. Now, interestingly, they're still bringing me things. What are they bringing me? I guess they're bringing me electromagnetic turbines because I have so many of them, which is good because I need to bring those back anyway. So this is a good little supply run. Speaking of which, let me also build you. There's that. And that. It's not connected to the power system. Just now realized that. Okay. I have some Tesla towers sitting in that storage that I just set up. So I'll grab those. Yep. It would be good to leave with a stash of titanium as well. So I'm going to try to do that. Perfect. All right, so they're bringing me some titanium. I'm not going to be able to carry a ton of it. I might be able to get some of the stuff offloaded. High strength crystal, very good. So now we are researching structure matrices. That's the yellow research cubes. Those cannot come fast enough. I can probably offload all these level 1 conveyor belts that I have. I don't know why I haven't done that sooner. So that's taking up space in my inventory that I haven't noticed. Let's think. I can get away with dropping this stone. And I can probably... what I can do here, this is one handy way to get rid of resources that you're kind of overstocked on. You can offload the resources... Yeah, here we go. You can offload them to... Yeah, so if I... See, that was a fast take. I didn't want to do that. Because now I have a bunch of circuit boards that I don't need. Oh yeah, so if I use control-click, for example, right now, I don't have any more actual circuit boards in my inventory, but it doesn't look like I have any more iron ingots either. But if I come back here, I do have some silicon, so if I control-click, notice it just automatically sends it there. Alright, so that helped a little bit. Let's see if we can also... No, I can't do anything more there. Okay, yeah. So they're still bringing me titanium dutifully. What I need to do is go back to Alpha Andromedae 2. Okay, yeah, I don't have space for those because they keep bringing me stuff. I love you guys, but you're messing me up. Let's see. That's stone and that's iron. You know what? I'm just gonna destroy the litter. Bye. Those are inconsequential resources at this point. So I'll let these drones fill up my titanium store for a bit here. And we'll head back and grab some graphene while also dropping off all the stuff these drones are bringing me and dropping off the Mark I conveyor belts, which I just don't need anymore. And that'll free up a lot of space so that this doesn't happen again so much. And of course, there are inventory space upgrades to prevent it from happening as much at the same time. So let's now head back that way. I'm going to speed up as much as my charge will let me. Nice. We got up to 826 from our initial launch. How about that? You can definitely tell that's purely from having better fuel, from having hydrogen. We didn't upgrade Icarus at all. There are upgrades that can make this better too. But what you're seeing right now is just from using hydrogen fuel cells instead of using the energetic graphite. It's fantastic. One of my favorite things is finally having fuel cells in this game. So we're going to be able to offload a lot of stuff we're carrying when we get back to the main base. So I'll do a bit of inventory management before we wrap up here. And we'll also be able to think more concertedly about getting some of the resources in place for our structure matrices. So these are going to be required, for example. I will need to make organic crystal, which will require me to make plastic. So it's going to take some time. This is going to consume fuel at a pretty rapid pace. But I think I can use the same supply lines that I currently have going towards the chemical plants that I've built to get plastic going. So that's good news. And then what I'll have to do is perhaps just make sure that I have enough oil coming into the entire thing so that I'm not chewing through my fuel faster than these buildings can consume it. So the plastic will be one of the components. The other components will be water and refined oil, again. So the refined oil is going to go towards a couple of new components. Chemical facilities are made at the chemical, or actual organic crystals are made at the chemical facility, rather, is what I meant to say. Hang on. Let's pause. Where is Homeworld? Are you hiding? Yes, you're hiding. Hi. Notice how quickly I slowed down there and my energy barely dropped. Hydrogen fuel cells is all I have to say to you. I've already said it many times. Look at the lighting effector on the edge of that gas giant. I love it. And we have arrived. Bit of a hard landing there, but I'll take it. Okay. Now what should happen here is drones should come and grab things. Unless, you know what I think it is? I think the settings that I have right now are not conducive. I forgot that some will stack in here. That's handy. Do they all stack in there? Oh my god, they do. But only up to one full stack. So that frees up some inventory right there. Or in this case, they stack to more than one stack. That's interesting. Might just be for specific types of resources that do that. No, these are stacking. What the heck? What the heck? Oh, okay, it's a double stack. That's what's happening. It's a double stack. Cool. All right, so I think that's what's really happening here. Let's see. Now, I don't want to pick those up. I want to see the settings. There we go. At least 600, good. At least 200, good. At least 1,000. Yeah, that's what's happening. So I don't have the 1,500 mark covered, so it's not taking them off of me. So let's say at most 1,300. And maybe what we'll do is we'll reduce how much we're carrying. So I want to be carrying... Okay, I've got more of an understanding now. So I want to carry at least 200 at all times. And then at most, I want to carry 1,000. I guess I am carrying 1,000 exactly. and they're set to collect from Icarus. Okay, so no, these are set to carry... Okay, I'm really starting to see how this... No. These are still double stacks. All right, now they offloaded properly. So remembering how this works, I haven't done this a lot since the patch introduced them. Really handy, though. So you're literally watching me learn on the fly. And I don't know why I couldn't make sense of the at least, at most, sooner. I think there's different ways of interpreting the way that that interface shows you that information. So it's like you could be talking about, I want to have at least this many in my inventory, or like I want to have at least this many in storage. Like because there are different ways of interpreting it, it takes a second to kind of arrive at the exact way to set these things. But it is, so it's not the most intuitive interface, but at the same time, once you get it, you get it. So having done that, let's take a look over here. Oh, also, I have some of these to drop off. Perfect. So all of those are now completely out of my inventory and not burdening me anymore. And I have some titanium as well. There we go. So we just dropped off some titanium. That's going to happen quite a bit until we have titanium importing, because there are a number of goods that we're going to start producing here and in the coming episodes that require titanium. So this line is probably going to, there will probably be multiple lines to tell you the truth, but we're going to be producing a lot of titanium related goods here. And until that is brought in from other planets, there's just going to be a lot of drag and drop while we're working towards that stage of automation, which is, again, getting closer and closer. But for now, I will stop this one here. In the next one, we are going to continue working towards those structure matrices and having yet another pretty color over there with our research options. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming up every day at noon US Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.